Cortland County want to keep a larger percentage of the county's sales tax revenue under their control. Right now, they share just a little under 50% of the revenue with local municipalities. As 12 News' Kyle Spisak reports, some local leaders are not happy with this decision.
Cortland County annually brings in $39.9 million in sales tax revenue yearly, according to a 2022 report. $17.3 million were allocated to local municipalities. But as state-mandated services grow and prices rise, the county is looking to keep a larger share of the revenue to help foot the bill of these mandates.
But with this year, with the costs that we're seeing, we really have to look where we can get maximize return on our revenue, and sales tax is one of those.
Despite the increase in cost, the Village of Homer Mayor Hal McCabe has spoken out against the decision. He says that the decrease in county funding to the village could translate into a 40% tax rate increase for residents. It could also negatively impact funding for essential services. Chair of the Cortland County Legislature, Kevin Fitch, says that although municipalities will receive less funding, the county will not leave them stranded.
And we just do not want to see double-digit tax increase for the county, because that would be devastating to the property owner. And, you know, having a double whammy on county and town, we understand that. So we're looking at potentially a 5 or 6 year plan of leaving, you know, kind of getting them into it so that they can understand that, but we'll never cut the legs out from under the municipalities. Right off the bat, absolutely not.
The tax plan is currently delayed a year as the county legislature works with local municipalities to prepare them for the change. Fitch also added that local leaders cannot rely solely on county sales tax funding to help run their municipality. 12 News reached out to the Village of Homer and the New York State Comptroller's Office, but did not receive a response. I'm Kyle Spisak, 12 News, Cortland County.